Can the 3-year-olds take center stage and conquer their elders today in Elmont, New York? First, Mr. Crow. Can his brilliant speed overcome his inexperience in the 78th running of the Vosburg? The Claiborne Charge, a late. She's the heavy favorite in the Beldame at 3-5. Will she roll again like she did in the Alabama? An Oscar performance. The 3-time Grade 1 winner. Were you looking for 4 in a row and try to add another trophy to his case in the Joe Hirsch Turf Classic? Welcome to Belmont Park, and welcome to this graded stakes edition of Belmont Park Live, brought to you by Claiborne Farm, in operation for over 100 years, doing the usual unusually well. Thank you to the Fox Problem Ticket and MSG Plus viewers. You joined us at the right time, and the rain has gone away, alongside Andy Serling, Paul LaDuca. Beautiful day after we got a little bit of rain, Andy, but you cannot deny the race card that we have in front of us.
Oh, we got an excellent card in front of us. We've got 4 terrific races, 3 Grade 1s. The Pilgrim, the only non-Grade 1, is going to get a horse into the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf. Great action today's card, and we'll cap it off with the Joe Hirsch Turf Classic. A tremendous race, 11 coming out of the gate.
And what to do in the Vosburg here. A lot of speed in here. El Deal, the 2, the 1 to catch, coming off a smashing win in the Vanderbilt for Jorge Navarro. You do have Mr. Crow in here and some other speed types as well. You know, to me, the start of this Vosburg is you're going to see the races that we're going to be covering. 3 Grade 1s and the Grade 3, the Pilgrim, sandwiched in between. You know, how do you start this off and how do you end this, Andy?
Well, I'm going to try to beat the favorite El Deal in here. I will use him in my pick 4. But he's a dunce cap horse for me. I have to bet against a horse that has won 2 straight races by big margins, both of them riding gold rails, being on a very strong inside, which helped horses racing on the inside, which exaggerate their performances and make them look better than he is. I'm not denying that he's talented. I'm not saying he can't win this race, but I think at 6-5 that El Deal is a very good bet against. So I'm going to try to beat him with Stall, Walkin, Dode. I'll use 1, 2, 4, 5, the 4 major contenders. 2 horses in the second leg. 1 is the 5 voting control, who's way the horse to beat. But I want to throw in the 7 looking ready, who will try to wire the field, who has pedigree, singling a late, and try to get live to 6 horses in the Joe Hirsch Turf Classic. It's that kind of wide open race, Paul.
You got to get involved. $24 ticket. Andy Serling giving that one out on the 50-cent variety. Now when you get to Mr. Crow, a little inexperienced, Gabby, but a lot of talent.
Absolutely, and some of that inexperience as well has shown in the afternoon. This is a horse that in every career start, which is only 3, he's never switched leads coming down the stretch. Now, that isn't really an issue considering that he's won in 2 of those 3 starts, but I was talking to trainer Todd Pletcher, and he's put in 2 workouts since his last race, and he said they've been working with him a little bit more and getting him to switch those leads, and he's switched those leads seamlessly in the morning in those 2 most recent workouts. He said his most recent workout was phenomenal. So he's ready and rearing to go. And Todd also mentioned that he's very happy that he's posted to the outside of the 2 speeds, because Mr. Crow, he's very fast, but he's also pretty multi-dimensional as well. But talking about some of those other speed types, Takaffel is one of them. And for a closer look, we'll check in with Maggie Wolfendale.
Gabby, thank you. Here in the paddock as we are anxiously awaiting the Grade 1 Vosburg. And yes, Takaffel is another one of the 3-year-olds as well, taking on older company here. And Takaffel, well, he can have an awful attitude. At least he's shown that, well, in his 1 try coming back to the races, which was supposed to be at Belmont, when he ran off before the start of that and was a late scratch that day. Since then, they have changed his training. They've used the pacifier, the shields over his eyes. They've trained him quietly over this Belmont Park main track, and I'm opted to say that he might prefer being here at Belmont more so than Saratoga. Now, I talked to Kieran as well, and he said that he's glad that he's posted outside of El Deal. He'll try, well, it's up to Jose. Jose will probably try to keep him a little bit away from that horse, just not to engage him that much, and he'll hope that he'll have enough left in the tank when they come down the lane to complete the 7 furlongs here. But Polly, they're going into the gate. This speed duel, well, it's kind of the storyline for this Vosburg.
Yeah, and it is a storyline. Good stuff there, Maggie. Gabby Gaudette, Maggie Wolfendale, the other 2 part of our crew. And don't forget about, we did get a little bit of the rain. And by the way, whoever wins this race will be competing where the turf meets the surf in the sprint. And the track is good. It's been Harold. Do you think that has anything to do with El Deal and his speed?
Well, you don't know because this is the first race the track has been open since our first race. They had sealed the track when it rained a little bit earlier. We'll see. You can't really tell. We'll see how much they engage. Is Tockhoffel going to get involved? Is Green Grotto going to show speed between horses? I'm hoping that happens because I'm going to need a bit of a meltdown to get Stall Walkin' Dude home. And we'll see if Mr. Crow can pass the class test.
As you see, they're getting loaded for the 78th running of the Vosburg. And like I said, this will punch someone's ticket for the first Saturday in November. Let's go to Larry Comas for the call for the 78th running.
Tockhoffel and Jose Ortiz take their position in the starting gate as Mr. Crow heads up to line. 6-5 right now on El Deal and Javier Castellano. They're coming out of stall 2 now. Here is Celtic Chaos taking his spot in the starting gate. And that'll leave Weekend Hideaway and Manny Franco to come up and complete the line here. Weekend Hideaway about to step forward. Takes a turn behind the starting gate here. And the assistant starters getting Weekend Hideaway to go in. They're all in line. One of them has broken open the front of the gate here. They'll close that and we'll be ready for a start. Trying to get them settled here. They're off in the Vosburg, and El Deal comes out sharply, and Tockhoffel is away with speed too, but El Deal is faster early. El Deal is the leader. Tockoffel's going to try to let him go now and sit a length behind and run in second. Green Grotto is third on the inside. Mr. Crow is fourth, and Weekend Hideaway break of another 2 lengths, and they're followed by Stall Walkin' Dude. Celtic Chaos trails the field. So they'll go past the first quarter mile in 22.31 seconds, and El Deal is the leader a half a length. Tockhoffel now taking it to him on the outside second. Mr. Crow is 2.5 lengths off of them. Then Green Grotto, Weekend Hideaway. Stall Walkin' Dude is 8 lengths behind. And at the back of the pack it is Celtic Chaos. El Deal and Tockhoffel, these two speedballs will turn for home together in the Vosburg. El Deal is the leader as they come to the top of the stretch. Tockhoffel's running with him. They went 44.76 for a half mile. And Stall Walkin' Dude is 3 lengths behind and he's closing in. El Deal put to the test. Tockhoffel right at his neck. Stall Walkin' Dude comes charging on the outside. Tockhoffel, El Deal, Stall Walkin' Dude on the far outside. Tockoffel's got it. Tockhoffel won the Vosburg over El Deal. Stall Walkin' Dude was third. Celtic Chaos fourth. The final time was 1 minute 9.69 seconds.
What a thrilling running of the Vosburg as Tockhoffel, the son of Bernardini, is just going to wear down El Deal. And, wow, they put on a show here, Andy.
This was a tremendous performance by this 3-year-old. He didn't even break that sharply. El Deal came out of the gate like a rocket, took the lead. It was an honest pace, but they weren't blazing for this quality horse. Tockhoffel showed that he could stalk and deal with a tough horse like El Deal and put him away in the stretch. This was a tremendous performance.
Yeah, it really was. The worry was the whole time, could Tockhoffel sit off horses and pass a horse like El Deal? Good pick by you with good Stall Walkin' Dude. He got the setup that he wanted, and he started running the oldster, trying for his 20th win. He ran a nice little third.
Just a little bit late for him. I thought he might get him at the 8th pole. He didn't have a finish. All 3 of them ran well, but Tockhoffel, a very deserving winner of the Grade 1 Vosburg.
You got to give a lot of credit here, McLaughlin. This horse ran a couple races in the Jerome and the Fountain of Youth. They tried around 2 turns, was not the same horse. They backed this horse around 2 turns. Now he's going to be in the starting gate for the Breeders' Cup.
Absolutely, and he belongs in the starting gate for the Breeders' Cup. I'll tell you, El Deal had no excuse, and no disgrace for El Deal in defeat. This was a tougher situation, and he was a little dressed up by the racetracks, but he ran very well here. The best horse won, and great win for Jose Ortiz.
And by the way, Jose Ortiz is not done yet. He still has elite and Oscar performance left after we mix in the Pilgrim a little bit. Man, it's been the Ortiz brothers world that we've been living in. Tockhoffel at 9-2 will take the trophy home for the Vosburg.
now it's a global series. The best racers from all over the world, the best trainers, the best jockeys.
You can get a free entry into the Breeders' Cup, and everybody wants to run in a Breeders' Cup race.
You get your travel expenses paid for the Breeders' Cup.
Automatic berth takes a lot of pressure off.
If we're considering two different races and one was a win and you're in and one was not, that would be the tiebreaker.
It's probably the best thing that's happened to racing in the last 10 years.
Breeders' Cup Challenge, win, and you're in.
Make NyraBets your home for online horse racing and betting. Use NyraBets to bet on live horse racing from around the world. Bet from anywhere, anytime using your computer or mobile device. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Play in our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up at NyraBets.com and start earning your sign-up bonus today. NyraBets, racing's best play. Use promo code LIVE to get a $100 new member sign-up bonus on NyraBets.com.
Welcome back to Belmont Park Live here on top of the third floor. Yes, all smiles in the Shadwell colors. Jose Ortiz with a Derek Jeter pump of the fist as Takaful, the son of Bernardini, out of the distorted humor mare Sabla, will go in the winner's circle. And she just loves New York, period. All 3 wins in the Empire State.
Well, what's really cool about this horse is that he's a sprinter. He has never run badly in a sprint race. He's got 3 wins in sprints and a second in the Grade 1 Allen Jerkins. He survived trying the Triple Crown, pointing towards the Triple Crown races and running in route races, which he clearly wasn't meant for. And his connections did the right thing with him. They've taken him back to sprints, and they're running the race he's belonged. This is a terrific racehorse.
It really is. El Deal, no disgrace in defeat, running a very solid second. And then the Warrior, stall walking dude with over $1.5 million in the bank. And Joe Bravo aboard will get the job done. But Jose Ortiz will have 2 more mounts left after this. He's got 2 pretty good ones in a late and Oscar performance. He's already got 2 wins on the card. He's going to be looking for 4. And where does Takaful sit now in the sprint division?
I think he's a big-time player. I mean, it'll be interesting because last year, Dre Fong, when he won the Forgo, when he won the King's Bishop last year, now the Allen Jerkins, and, of course, the Breeders' Cup Sprint, he was able to control on the front end. Now he's got to deal with Takaful, and if El Deal goes in the Breeders' Cup, it's a Breeders' Cup Sprint that's shaping up to have more speed than it's had in the past. Now, Takaful's shown he can engage and still win, but can he do it against a horse like Dre Fong, last year's winner? We'll see, but this horse belongs, that's for sure.
He definitely does belong. And if you had that double to start off that NyraBets pick 5, it comes back $19.80 for $1. And there you see, 2017 winner, you're in the Breeders' Cup. Let's go down to Gabby Gaudet.
Thanks, Paul. Well, Kieran, this horse's quirks are definitely well documented. You and your team have done a phenomenal job with him. How proud are you of this horse today?
Yeah, he's a special horse, and I'm so happy to win a Grade 1 for Sheikh Hamdan bin Rashid Al Maktoum, who's the owner, and Rick Nichols, and all of Shadwell have been patient. We tried to go the Derby route, and it didn't work, and they let us just get him right. And Joe Lee and his team here at Belmont have done a great job.
And he is a challenging horse in the morning. He goes out late. He wears very specific equipment. Does the challenge of him kind of make this victory all the more sweet?
Yes, for sure. Grade 1s are hard, and he's a difficult horse, but a fun horse too when you end up in the winner's circle. And Jose rode a great race.
And talking about Jose's ride, Kieran, he managed to stalk the pace today. Does that give you confidence moving forward towards the Breeders' Cup?
Yes, it does. I mean, he won a Grade 1 today, so we're very happy today. Where we go from here, we will talk to the boss.
All right, well, congratulations on this one.
Thank you very much.
All right, guys, Takaful rated beautifully and a huge victory for the Kieran McLaughlin barn.
You could just see the relief for Kieran McLaughlin. He knows he's got a very talented runner and maybe starting to reach that Pegasus. Andy, the dunce cap payoff. It was a little bit of a grind, but LDL did not get the job done. I'll give it to you.
Had it in the bag.
By the way, the D stands for DL. By the way,
LDL goes down.
Well, we still have two more grade ones on this edition of Belmont Park Live. And late in the Alabama, listen, she swept by it Tiswell in Crush. She was second in the Coaching Club American Oaks to Abel Tasman. And it's really put her on the Hollywood star map. And to me, she might be propelling herself into stardom. And when it comes to Oscar performance and when it comes to Hollywood, he proves that he loves Belmont as well. He's 3 for 3 over this course, looking for 4 for 4. But by the Son of Kitten's Joy, will he love older horses in the Joe Hirsch Turf Classic? For more on both of these horses, let's go to Maggie Wolfendale.
The theme of this Turf Classic Day is 3-year-olds taking on older competition. First up, we will see Elate take on some older fillies and mares in the Grade 1 Belle Dame, as she is stabled in this barn right behind my left shoulder in the barn of Hall of Famer Bill Mott, as he will look to send his charge, the impressive winner of the Alabama last time out, in the same footsteps that he followed with Royal Delta back in 2012 in this Belle Dame, and on to the Breeders' Cup Distaff. Then, just over my right shoulder, we will see Oscar performance in the Grade 1 Joe Hirsch Turf Classic. Now, he looks as though he's going to face some stiffer competition than Elate will. First of all, he's going to have to deal with the other speed horse in Beach Patrol and take on a 1.5 miles for the first time, as well as taking on older horses. Now, he has proven that he is the top 3-year-old turf horse in the country, but this is a tall test. The last 3-year-old to win the Joe Hirsch Turf Classic, well, that was his sire in Kitten's Joy back in 2004. The one common thread, though, between these two 3-year-olds, well, it's their pilot in young Jose Ortiz. Gabby Gaudette has more on Jose.
Thanks very much, Maggie. And well, it's been an eventful day, eventful week to say the least, for jockey Jose Ortiz. Of course, he just got the victory on Takaful in the Vosburg, and he won a race earlier on the card. He's won a race yesterday and the day before, but of course, a week earlier from Wednesday, he did go down in a spill, and he came out of it with a deep contusion in his knee, and they took the right precautions to just give him off for the week. He rested, had recovery, took recovery, iced it and everything. But I did talk to Jose Ortiz, and it says it doesn't bother him anymore. It really doesn't bother him in the afternoons when he's riding there. So clearly he has not lost a step, guys, as he's still on a roll this week. And of course, getting that Grade 1 victory so far has got to feel very good.
And when you're a great athlete, it's just like riding a bike, Gabby, and Jose Ortiz is just doing that, just knows how to win races. By the way, son of Flatter, West Coast won the Pennsylvania Derby, and the daughter of Arch, It Tiswell, won the Cotillion. What do those both horses have in common? They both stand at Claiborne. And when we come back, we'll show you a little later in the show how their history of success continues.
The graded stakes winning son of Bernardini is off to a sensational start at stud. Among the leading freshman sires by winners in graded stakes horses, his first crop 2-year-olds commanded prices up to 36 times his stud fee. Leading progeny include TD and Rising Star Recruiting Ready, second in the Bashford Manor Stakes, and stakes place performer Junket. The pedigree, speed, and class to become the next star in this sensational sire line. Algorithms at Claiborne Farm.
Welcome back to Belmont Park Live here on a beautiful Saturday. Run Happy, champion sprinter Run Happy, won at 6 different racetracks, scoring on both all-weather and dirt surfaces labeled fast, sloppy and muddy, all while racing 100% drug-free. He stands at Claiborne Farm for $25,000. The undefeated in sprint competition, Run Happy set the stakes record in the King's Bishop. Still, to me, that was his best race, his coming out party, when he demolished the field at Saratoga. Again, standing at Claiborne Farm. And don't forget, if you want to get involved with all this great action, get started betting the races with a $100 new member sign-up bonus from Naira Bets. Just enter the code LIVE when you sign up at nairabets.com. You get 100, you bet 100, or you bet 100, you get 100. It's that easy. You got to bet it, right, Andy? Get involved. Nationwide. Here is the field slate for race number 8, Grade 3, the Pilgrim. These are 2-year-olds going to go on the turf, and take a guess who's the favorite. Chad Brown and Voting Control.
But in a certain way, you could sort of say this is an extension of the Chad Brown-Todd Pletcher battle. As
right.
Chad Brown has one in here, and Todd Pletcher has 2. And both Chad Brown's Voting Control and Todd Pletcher's Maraud come off maiden scores. But Voting Control was very impressive, breaking his maiden. Really did a good job. It's not like the race fell apart, and he made a big run from back of the pack. And apparently, he's been working with the Grade 1 older horse time test and holding his own in those works. Working well moving forward, Voting Control. The 5, the one to beat. But the 6, Maraud, is his main competition.
Yeah, when you look at the 5, not bad really first time out at 4-1. But, you know, the races at a 10-horse field, sometimes, you know, they can be a little bit chilly on the board, but ran on well. Usually you don't see a lot of Kitten's Joy for go under Dale Cheryl's price. But here was the win last time out, Andy. And from the 10-hole, was able to get a little bit of cover, but proved to be best.
He really was best in here. And the horse he ran down is a nice horse for Christophe Clement, who I actually believe was favored in this race. And as I was saying, it's not as though the race fell apart. He came and got that horse, and that's the sign of a good horse. Now, he is coming back in just 20 days, and Chad Brown likes to have more time, but you can't take much time at this point of the year. This horse got rained off the turf at Saratoga a couple of times, didn't get off the AEs, and then got rained off. They want to try to make the Breeders' Cup Juvenile turf. You got to win this race to get in.
Yeah, when you could tell in that replay, at the end of that race, Castellano kept asking this colt by Kitten's Joy, because I think Chad's like, keep asking him because we want him to go a little bit longer. We get out to the 6 in here, the other horse in here with Johnny V for Treadway Racing Stable, this Son of Blame, who stands at Claiborne, won at first asking as your favorite.
He did, and he ran well in there. He was 2-3 wide around the track, and he ran a good race to win it. The problem is it may not have been that strong a field. I mean, you and I are guys who believe in speed figures.
Yeah.
And from a speed figure basis, if you look at this race, and Desert Stone, we'll talk about him a bit too. He's the one in this race, kind of green outside of him. These 2 horses ran okay in the context of the race, and they are lightly raced horses and have a right to move forward. They have an extra week over Voting Control. The problem is that it just wasn't that fast a race. They really have to speed up to beat Voting Control.
And you could see Desert Stone, the 7 on that day, the 1 on this day, if he can just be a little bit or mind his business a tiny bit, he might have a better chance today if he minds his business. This paddock report brought to you by Shadwell Farm, building speed for the future. And who else to bring you that report than Maggie Wolfendale?
And is it convenient, Paulie, that Shadwell, well, they took down the Vosburg. Hey, being a sponsor of our show is good luck, as we'll actually check out another sponsor of our show, Claiborne Farm. They stand blame, and we'll start with one of his sons, and that is number 6, Maraud, in here for trainer Todd Pletcher. Now, look, I like both of Todd's horses in here, although Shoki is a maiden, and adding blinkers here today. Just a short cup on him, but about Maraud, you know, I liked him first time out. I thought he was impressive enough in winning, but it looks as though he's come out of that race a stronger horse, a more together horse, just physically overall. He brings in here good energy. I'm wondering if there's some serious talent with this runner. They paid a decent amount for him as well, so I think Maraud is up for the challenge of facing winners for the first time in this Grade 3 Pilgrim. Next, we'll move on to a horse, well, that's the other maiden in this field, and that's number 2, Desert Stone. To me, this horse was very, very green. Number 1, sorry. Very, very green in the paddock in the running of that race as well. And today, he is so much more calm here for Rudy Rodriguez, so much more professional. He has his head straight on his shoulders. I think this horse has some talent. And given the pedigree, I mean, on the bottom side, the dam has thrown nothing but precocious runners. They have all won at 2 years old. So this is an ambitious spot, yes, for a maiden only making his second start, but I think there's some talent with Desert Stone. And like I said, mentally, he's up for the task. Now, moving on to one trying the turf for the first time, that's number 7, Looking Ready. Certainly has some seasoning under his belt. He is a New York bred, trying Open Company, but he's a son of More Than Ready, so that's a good influence. But to be honest, in the immediate side, I don't know how much of a positive influence there is overall. And looking at him, well, he kind of has the frame of a turf horse. He's a little bit on the kind of more narrow aerodynamic side. Does not have a turf hoof. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean he's a null and void here for getting on the surface, but I would just like to see a little more of that flatter hoof, a little more angle to his pasterns than what he possesses here, Paulie, trying this Pilgrim Field.
And good stuff, Maggie. When you talk about the 7, you know, this is a horse that you'd like a little bit here, Andy. Brings speed. I don't even know if this horse knows how to slow down. You even look at the works in the morning. But what I do love is Bruce Levine, the trainer, got a chance to put this colt over the turf and work at least.
Yeah, he's got plenty of pedigree for the turf. He's a More Than Ready. The second generation of the dam is significant turf. And he's going to be loose on the front end unless he falls coming out of the gate. Yeah. He's just way faster than these. Yeah. They're not the worst kind of horses to throw in. I played a 5-7 exact. I could back up a little bit with a 7 in the multi-race bets. I think he's the interesting wild card because from what I've seen, at least from a handicapping standpoint, the ones in the turf haven't run as well as the 5. He's the unknown, Paul.
What you've seen so far, that speed actually is good in this game of horse racing. I think a lot of people don't realize that. We've seen on the turf course. Now the 4, Shoke. We'll get to him a little bit. As you look at the 2, Morrison for Joe Sharp. You know, the first time that horse got on turf, here is Shoke, the 4. Blinkers are going to go on. The horse was good first time out. And then, you know, Untamed Domain come back to win at Woodbine and lost to Catholic Boy, but this horse had some issues.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. Gabby likes Morrison out of this race. She felt he had a bit of a trip. I didn't see it, but listen, I respect her opinion. He's a long shot. I thought Shoke overall had a pretty good trip. He was too wide. Things opened up. And don't forget, this is a race that kind of fell apart here. You're going to see him in those easy-to-see green silks, the same silks that Keen Ice carried to beat American Fair on the Travers. Yes, he gets stay there. He loses his position, no doubt. But he ends up getting out in the clear, and he didn't really have that much of a finish. Did he run badly? No, but I just don't know how good this horse is.
Yeah, and it's hard to really discern how good this field is. You go back and you look at the other horses in here, Shoke, and the other runner. Did they do any running? It's really hard to tell. Morrison ran a little bit late, but no doubt about the winner that day. Catholic Boy was a pretty good winner. And like I said, Untamed Domain come back to win at Woodbine.
Untamed Domain did win, and that's a credit to him and a credit to that race. I didn't love the race they were coming out of. I'm thinking a horse like Voting Control might be better than them. But listen, if you're against Voting Control, there's good prices all over the board. I mean, I don't have to be right about them. I'm wrong most of the time.
No, 7-5. And you know you don't have to be right, and it won't cost you any money. The Belmont Showdown. Go to BelmontShowdown.com. It's an online contest. Great way to get involved without having to put any ducats on there. Just sign up. And like I said, go to BelmontShowdown.com. It's a good way to get involved, learn how to play the races, and see how good you are before you lay your real money down at NairaBets.com. Free to play and win some prizes. And you can also win a mythical bankroll and a trip to the 2018 prize pack as the bugler is going to call to the post as the post parade for the 39th running of the Pilgrim. Sponsored by OCD Pellets Post Parade, brought to you, celebrating their 10th anniversary of supporting the equine industry with their 2-in-1 bone and joint supplement. Visit OCDpellets.com. Build stronger bones. We start the post parade with the 1 Desert Stone. Jose Ortiz looking for another one.
Maidens can win races like this, and if he's acts a little better in here, he has a chance to upset the field. He ran okay in his debut.
Morrison, the gray son of the Factor, will go out with Robbie Alvarado and Joe Sharp.
I didn't like his last race where he saved ground, but smart people I know do like him.
Stolen Pistol, the other one for Joe Sharp, is going to put the blinkers on. Manuel Franco aboard.
You know, his last race at Kentucky Downs was good enough to give him an outside chance of the upset at a big price.
Shoke, another horse putting the blinkers on here after a decent place, 4th place finish in the With Anticipation.
1 of 2 for Todd Pletcher, an inside trip, 2 back. A little trouble last time out.
Voting Control is your favorite currently at 7-5, Castellano and Chad Brown.
The horse to beat must come back and duplicate his last performance or improve on it in just 20 days.
Murad is the 6 in here. Johnny Velasquez, 1 first time out as your favorite.
1 with a 3-wide trip at Saratoga, first time out. Not an easy thing to do. It ran well.
The 7 looking ready. He's going to get on the turf for the first time. Could be the horse to catch.
He will try to wire this field, and he does have the pedigree, but he has to improve a lot.
And then Evaluator will round out your post-parade. I think a lot of people forget he was your favorite in the With Anticipation last time out.
He was dreadful in the With Anticipation, but visually impressive in his debut. He must learn to break with the field.
And there you see the 8th pack for the Pilgrim. And a little bit later on, as you see the 6, Johnny V. The 1995 Joe Hirsch Turf Classic was his first of 6. He was on Turk Passer. He'll be aboard Gray Gatsby today.
Shadwell Farm, home to world-class stallions, presents 2 young stars. Mo Heyman, undefeated 2-year-old, multiple graded stakes winner at 2 and 3. A dazzling son of Tappet, winner of his first 5 career starts, 4 in graded stakes. Grade 1 winner, Tamarcuz, winner of the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile. This son of Speightstown was a top international miler that earned over $1.8 million. Shadwell Farm, building speed for the future.
Change the way you watch racing forever with the new Naira Now app. Live racing in English or Spanish from a variety of camera angles, race replays, talking horses, race analysis, and a multitude of on-demand content, all in high definition. Naira Now is available on many platforms, including iOS, Android, Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and more coming soon. Download Naira Now today, free in the App Store, and start watching the best racing like never before.
Absolutely love that stall shot. The Barkley Tag Barn welcomes us back to the Belmont Park live set here on the 3rd floor. On the 6 here, Murad, the son of Blame. And you know what? In 2010, actually Claiborne was, we always say over 100 years, was actually 100 years was celebrating and breeding, raising, and racing thoroughbred horses in 2010. It's pretty fitting that at the end of that year, a homebred colt with strong ties, the son of Arch, defeats Zenyatta in the Breeders' Cup Classic. It's one of those days where you sort of cry that Zenyatta lost, but you're almost saying that Blame was the greatness that had to take her down.
I didn't cry that day. I bet Blame, and I was very happy.
But standing at Claiborne Farm. Gabby?
Thanks, Paul. Well, this is a really contentious field. I think there are a lot of horses that have big shots in here, but Andy was alluding to it before the break that I'm a fan of the 2 Morrison. He comes out of the same race that a couple others do, and I thought he had significant trouble in there because he does look like a speedy type of horse. And immediately coming out of the gate, he was checked back to last, and after that, he really had no room to run coming down the stretch. Now, today, I don't think he's going to outsprint the 7 to the lead, but I do think he's going to be forwardly placed. And looking at him as a physical, he's a long, lanky type of horse. It looks like he still has room to grow into himself as well, but he definitely doesn't look like a sprinter. He looks like a horse that will take to the turf and go a distance of ground. Whether or not he's good enough is to be determined, but I like him as a price. But guys, the 5 Voting Control, I just thought this horse made a very nice appearance here on the track. He just looks very strong, and not to mention the turf is firm today. But earlier in the day, we did have a little bit of rain, so it softened it up a bit. And I think, obviously, given Voting Control's pedigree, he's by Kitten's Joy, and Kitten's Joy as well, Maggie, they have a tendency to like any kind of moisture in the turf.
Isn't that the truth, Gabby? And look, I can't take anything away from Voting Control here, but the horse to me that stood out just based upon physicality is Shoke. I mean, I know he has yet to win a race, and the trouble with anticipation, it's up for grabs of whether it really affected him, but he just looks like a man amongst the boys here, and I'm going to stick with Shoke. I've picked him in all of his 3 career starts so far. I'm not going to shy away now. Now, a horse that was very impressive first time out is number 8 in here, Evaluator. But the problem with Evaluator, he has some trouble getting out of the gate. Now, I talked to our starter here, Puck McMullen, and he said this horse is up at Saratoga, and he's talked to the gate guy up there, the historic and well-regarded Bob Duncan, that they've galloped him out. And Pup is hoping that, just with experience, this horse will break better today. The handler's going to stay back away from his head and just kind of stay out of his way. So he's about to go in the gate here, Polly, for the Pilgrim.
Great stuff, Maggie. And yeah, she just teleported to her pony, by the way, for everybody out there in Fox Prime Ticket and MSG World. One more left to load. Let's go to the voice of the Breeders' Cup, Larry Colmus.
Ready for the start. They're off in the Pilgrim. Morrison had a very good beginning and goes out to the front, but there goes Looking Ready. Looking Ready grabs the lead as they make their way toward the backstretch, and Shoke takes second. Morrison is back running in third. Murad on the outside. Fourth, Stolen Pistol is fifth. And then it's Voting Control sixth onto the backstretch, 7 lengths off the lead. Evaluators at the rear of the field alongside of Desert Stone. So on to the backstretch they go, and through the opening quarter mile in 24.61 seconds. Looking Ready and Arad Ortiz Jr. lead the field up the backstretch in the Pilgrim, with Shoke in pursuit from second, Murad and Morrison together third and fourth. Stolen Pistol is fifth, 5 lengths off the lead at this stage. And then it's Voting Control on the outside of Desert Stone. Last of them all is Evaluator. Looking Ready up top. Completes a half in 49.51 seconds and heads the field into the far turn in front. Shoke is a length and a half behind. Morrison is third on the inside. Murad is fourth. Stolen Pistol rides the rail into the turn with 5 lengths to make up. Voting Control is sixth on the outside. After that comes Desert Stone and Evaluator around the far turn. Looking Ready continues to lead the way. Shoke is going wide as they come toward the top of the stretch. Morrison saves all the ground, and Murad is there on the outside. They're into the stretch. Looking Ready. Shoke on the outside comes on with 1 furlong to run. Looking Ready and Shoke on the outside. Murad is trying to put it a bid too. And on the extreme outside, Voting Control is coming on, but it's Shoke. Shoke has the lead down to the wire, and Shoke breaks his maiden in the Pilgrim. Voting Control was second, Murad was third, and a final time of 1 minute 43.48 seconds.
Shoke, the son of Scat Daddy, is going to get the job done, just sitting right off the pace as Voting Control, your favorite, just not enough time to run down your second choice, end up being your third choice here in Shoke.
Excellent job by Luis Saez. He ends up stalking the 7, who it turns out not really a turf horse. So the pace was moderate, so he's in that very perfect position. Little bit of trouble at the start for voting control, but it also took him too long to get going here. Shoke gets it done as a maiden.
Yeah, good call by Maggie Wolfendale. She thought that Shoke looked the best going into the gate, so 5-1, you're going to get $12. We'll take you back to the beginning of this race. Could not tell what happened to the 5.
6 came over, I think.
He looked like he was trying to adjust the tack or adjust the reins immediately, Castellano. And watch right here.
No, I think the 6 comes over on him, actually. There, the other Pletcher. He got sandwiched between the 2 Pletcher horses. That likely cost him the race.
When you get the head on here, you could see the jockey on the 6 looking over right out of the gate as he's going to come in a tiny bit on the 5, a lot of it on the 5, as he's going to get a little bit of a tiny bit of the Jersey squeeze. You can see the rider on the 6, Johnny V, corrected immediately because he knew what he had done. Maybe it cost the 5 the race, but Shoke will get the job done. The son of Scat Daddy had the Curlin mare, Curlin Hawk, and Todd Pletcher and Donegal racing. Again, Luis Saez, aggressive. You know, the 7 in here to cut out all the fractions. You're right, Andy. 113 was slow, just couldn't get the distance.
Yeah, I mean, he's just obviously not good enough. You know, handle the turf maybe, but couldn't get the distance. At the end of the day, I mean, take nothing away from Shoke getting the win, but 2 Todd Pletcher horses, the 5 was in between them, and the 6 did come over. But, you know, that happens at the start. I mean, horses come over, and they don't adjudicate it. The 6 came in. It was bad luck for the 5.
And there you see, unofficially, they have now put it up 4, 5, 6, and 7, and Maggie Wolfendale is with the winning rider.
Guys, Luis Saez just said, did I actually win it? Yes, Louis, you won it convincingly here with Shoke, and the first time here on this horse. And had you had any experience with him in the morning?
No, never. I never been with him. This is my first time I've been with him, you know?
Yeah. And the blinkers on here today as well. And how much did that aid you in getting him out of the gate? A horse that, well, hadn't shown that much speed before, but really showed a new dimension today.
Well, when I get on him, I can feel it. He was ready today. I know he's going to run big. And he was pretty focused. He braked pretty good. I see it right there, and when I make a run, he responded and take off.
He was very impressive today. Winning the Pilgrim as a maiden, Louis. Congratulations here.
Thank you so much.
All right, guys, back to you.
Great stuff. All smiles for Luis Saez. And look at Todd Pletcher. We always got the white-haired wizard on the other coast. Todd's starting to turn into that. And don't forget about a late. The filly for Claiborne. Can she keep on rolling? Let's see that strut as she walks on over for the Beldame.
Undefeated in sprint competition, Eclipse champion Run Happy captured 3 Grade 1 victories and set blistering speed records at both Keeneland and Saratoga. In the Breeders' Cup Sprint, he dominated the world's fastest runners, going 6 furlongs in a record-breaking 108 and change. The only horse nominated for 3 Eclipse Awards, Run Happy was crowned champion male sprinter, all the while racing 100% drug-free. Champion, millionaire, record breaker, Run Happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Welcome back to the Winner's Circle here on Belmont Park Live. And in the Winner's Circle is the son of Scat Daddy, Shoke for Donegal Racing, and Luis Saez breaking his maiden in the Pilgrim, $12.80, and another middle price. Fours are wild if you had that middle double.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're live in this Naira Bets late pick 5, or if you're live in the pick 4, I am not. You could be in pretty good shape. Nice prices so far.
Yeah, voting control. Maybe give that horse a look next time. Yeah. Emerald, too, had a little bit of trouble.
You have to think that voting control will probably get into the Breeders' Cup Juvenile off this, and he's a hard luck loser. You don't want to make big excuses for losers in here, but that was obviously a bad break for him. But you know what? Choke was able to put himself in the right position. You have to give him credit for that.
Yeah, you got to give him credit, and all smiles for Luis Saez. You see the Donegal colors as he's going to go off and change his tact and get ready for another race here at Belmont, as we got 2 more left, and both of those are grade 1s. And standing by with the winning trainer is Gabby Gaudet.
Thank you.
Thanks very much, Paul. And Todd, well, he's got a busy day running around here today with a lot of entries. But Todd, Shoke was one of 2 maidens going into the Pilgrim today. What were your confidence levels like coming in today?
Well, we felt like he ran winning races both times at Saratoga. He was a little bit unlucky, a little bit green, and actually it was on John Velasquez's recommendation that we put blinkers on him, and we worked him with blinkers. It seemed to focus him in somewhat. I think he's still coming and learning, but I was proud of his effort today.
And with the blinkers on, it seemed to get him in the game a little bit sooner. Do you think that paid off as well?
Definitely helped that he broke more alertly and put himself in a good stalking position.
All right, well, an impressive performance from Shoke, but you also send out Asking for Money in the Beldame. Quickly, this is a filly or a mare that is in very good form recently. What do you think you can do to turn the tables on a late, though?
Well, I mean, Elate looks like a very strong horse to beat in here, but, you know, our filly always shows up. She runs well. She's been good around one turn. I thought drew a favorable post position, so we'll hope she shows up.
And she's another one. I think all of her victories have been around one turn, but you recently added the blinkers in the past 2 starts. What prompted that move?
Just felt like we had blinkers on her early in her career, and then we took them off, and she ran pretty well. It just felt like she's getting a little older. We just needed to get her mind back in the game a little bit.
All right. Well, best of luck and congratulations with Shoke.
Thank you.
All right. Back to you, Paul.
Good stuff, Gabby. As you see Shoke going to the line straight and strong, beating voting control. And yeah, how about that? Johnny Velasquez says put blinkers on and I'll ride the other horse, and Luis Saez will take the Pilgrim.
Yeah. Nice win for him. Nice win for those connections.
It really is a nice win. And again, the double, if you're alive in this Naira late spec pick 5, is pretty darn good.
Yeah, even with the dead heat with the first and I think second or third choice in the first leg, but you have some nice prices here, and these are upsets. I mean, they weren't huge prices, but they're good enough, and you beat favorites, so they'll be pretty good, these payouts. Even with, you could have 2 of them.
Yeah, and there is the follow along. Andy talking about we had a dead heat in race number 6 between the 8 and 11. We've had some good racing all day today.
Yeah, no, it's terrific racing, and the best is yet to come. If you've got one of the best fillies or mares, females in the country coming up in a late, a horse who really has a chance to be a champion, and that Joe Hirsch Turf Classic is just an absolute war. I'm going to say it's one of the best runnings we've ever had.
I think it is, too. It's so equally balanced, and we'll go to where you were talking about the Alabama with a late. She was so dominant that day. You know, Claiborne Farm is the birthplace of over 75 champions, 22 members of the National Racing Museum Hall of Fame. Bold Ruler, Damascus, Gallant Fox, Forgo, Kelso, Ruffian, Big Red, Elate, who we're seeing right now in the winner's circle in the Alabama, are just a small slice of the horses that have walked the grounds at Claiborne. Let's get a closer look at the operation that just produces success.
So I'm 5th generation. We started in Virginia shortly after the Civil War, and then we moved here to Kentucky where we are today in 1910. It was more breed to race. You know, it was kind of a mom and pop kind of thing, and everyone, the intention was to see who had the fastest horse. Back in the day, they said, I have horses, you have horses, let's see which ones are faster, and they'd go out to the field and race them. That's how it all got started. And that's, you know, certainly, it's morphed into what it is today over the years.
It's kind of like Disneyland for horses.
it's a special place, and you know the history behind it, and the horses that have been raised here and that are here now. It's a special place, I think, for a lot of people, and it shows in the number of tours that we do every day, especially starting in about April through October. There'll be 30 to 50 people through here twice a day for tours, so you know it kind of tells you what this place is.
You know, I started working on the farm when I was 8 years old. There's pictures of me at the sales leading around the mare, and I'm 8 years old in 1997. So it's kind of been in my blood my whole life, and it's something I knew I always wanted to do. My dad told me it's certainly something I didn't have to do, but that was never really a question because I wanted to do it. So it was an easy decision.
I mean, Walker's raised here, grown up here. He's a great young man, and his parents have done a tremendous job with him. So, you know, it's kind of like the horses that have been raised here. He was bred and raised here to do what he's doing.
I mean, we really haven't changed. We try and have some simplistic attitude towards everything, and everyone does their job, and that's why our slogans, you know, do the usual and usually well. With just everyone's has their own job and does it to the best of their ability. Right now, I think we have 220 mares maybe here, and then we'll have 140 foals on the ground. We'll have 44 yearlings. We're prepping for September sale next month. Well, Warfront's our highest priced stallion. Obviously, he's known internationally.
One of the leading sires in the world. He stands for $250,000, and you know, he started at 12.5, and he's worked his way up and gotten runners on the dirt and the turf at the highest level.
Mastery. We haven't announced a stud fee yet, but we're really excited about him. He's such a brilliant 3-year-old. This year, unfortunately, got hurt and wasn't really able to showcase his true talent he had. Listen to Bob Baffert, he might have been just as talented as American Pharaohs, so at least one of my personal favorite horses. It was nice to follow his career that closely. And he has some fantastic looking babies, so we're excited about him.
I think that Claiborne Farm probably focused on the whole package from beginning to end. You know, I mean, it starts with the stallions and the mares, and then the offspring and how you raise the offspring, and how the offspring then are moved from Claiborne Farm to be broken to the trainers, and you know, the whole process is what, you know, I think it's just a function of always paying attention to the details and making sure everything's done the right way and for the best of the interest of the horse.
Going back to the original concept of my horse is faster than your horse, it's kind of fun just to line them up and see who's faster. So yeah, the racing part really excites me. Watching Dad my whole life and how he's a hard worker and honest with people, and what he says is his word and he's not going to change it. So really just kind of picking up on his way of life and just being a good role model for me, and to follow in his footsteps, something I'm trying to do. We're true to our simplistic values. That's what's got us here this far, so why change them? But it is a challenge to stay up with the times and evolve and hold true to your values. So we're trying to find that balance. People ask me what are my goals for Claiborne Farm, and it's really just to hand it off to someone else and keep it going. And if I do that, obviously we've been somewhat successful if we're still around, and it's still going well.
And there she is, Elate, trying to win back-to-back Grade 1s, very close to winning 3 straight Grade 1s. And the daughter, Medaglia d'Oro, going to try to stamp herself as maybe in that discussion as the best 3-year-old filly. Don't go anywhere. We're going to find out how good she is in about 17 minutes.
Eclipse Award winner Blaine retired to stud with more than $4.3 million in earnings, including a historic victory over Zenyatta in the Breeders' Cup Classic. Now he's making a name for himself as an internationally successful stallion. In 2017, his top runners include stakes winner No Fault of Mine, Japanese star Resonator, and classic winner Singa, the dominant victor of this year's Grade 1 French Oaks. Blaine at Claiborne Farm.
Make NyraBets your home for online horse racing and betting. Use NyraBets to bet on live horse racing from around the world. Bet from anywhere, anytime using your computer or mobile device. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Play in our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up at NyraBets.com and start earning your sign-up bonus today. NyraBets, racing's best play. Use promo code LIVE to get a $100 new member sign-up bonus on NyraBets.com.
Well, we need food, we need water. We use that every day, and we don't have it right now. If you guys can help us, it's a lot of places where they try to get some help, like people bring water, food, whatever they can bring it, whatever you guys think we need it, bring it, and they will put in Puerto Rico. They have some help to get there. I don't know the way, but if you can do it, please. We need it badly. Just, stay together, stay strong, Puerto Rico. I know we're gonna get up from this one. We've been doing before, and we're gonna do it this time again.
Some words there from Irad Ortiz Jr. as the Hurricane Maria relief continues in Puerto Rico. And Eric Consell said something yesterday, the same piece, that life moves on. And I think a lot of people forget life is moving on everywhere else in the world, but it's not really moving on in Puerto Rico, and we're going to try to help that. You see all the things on the screen and so many different foundations you can go to try to lend a hand to the people in Puerto Rico that they can get their lights turned on, and some of the people without the power. So our prayers are still there in Puerto Rico and everywhere else that's been devastated by hurricanes and everything else. Field slate for the Grade 1 Beldame, and a late is 1-5.
And I'm not a big advocate of 1 to 5 shots, but it's understandable. Her recent races are just too good for these horses. And the other thing is, she's a 3-year-old that's improving with every start. And she's already considerably better than the others. And listen, anything can happen in horse racing. When the gates open, a lot of crazy things have happened on the racetrack. But all things being equal, she's a superior animal to these. And I'll tell you, Belmont and Claiborne were very smart. They could have run against 3-year-old fillies in the cotillion like everybody else in the division last week. Instead, they chose what seemed like a more aggressive approach running against olders. They ended up finding themselves in an easier spot. And I imagine there are some also-rans in that cotillion that are saying, geez, Claiborne and Belmont were pretty smart to run in the Beldame because this is an easier spot for her, to be fair.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, listen, you make a good point there. I mean, it's a great point. That is an it as well. Salty, Abel, Tasman, they'd all be 1-5 in the spot.
Salty would have been a clear-cut second choice behind the late in this race. And at the end of the day, the older horses were all skipping these races. Horses like Forever Unbridled, horses like Stellar Wind. They're skipping their final preps for the Breeders' Cup. I don't like that they do it. I think it dilutes the races. But at the end of the day, Elate is the one who's benefiting.
Yeah, and she's 1-5 right now. And the Paddock Report brought to you by Shadwell Farm, building speed for the future. Hard for a 1-5 shot and not to look that good, Maggie.
Oh, and she does look good here in the paddock, Paulie. I mean, there's no doubt about Elate's superlatives. She looks absolutely phenomenal here in the flesh, and she's just a horse that I've liked from day one. But if you're looking for exacta purposes, or if you're looking to upset this heavy favorite, the next horse that looked best next to her is number 5, Money's on Charlotte here for Kelly Breen. Yes, she's a horse that kind of seizes opportunities where, tracks have been in her favor, setups have been in her favor, and she's kind of faced lesser company. She's dodged a lot of the big dogs. But physically, she looks great here. And I asked Kelly Breen, well, what's your game plan? And he said, Maggie, you're asking the wrong guy, because when you have a Hall of Famer and Johnny V aboard your horse, well, you leave things up to him, as she does have speed to her inside. So it will be up to Johnny to negotiate where Money's on Charlotte makes her early running. Next, we move on to number 7, Eskin for Money. And look, she's another one that, sometimes doesn't necessarily find herself in the winner's circle. She seems to clunk up for second and third minor placings, but one of the best times I've seen her here physically. Her weight's good, her coat's great. And look, we're dealing with the master of winning this race as far as multiple times, and that's Todd Pletcher with 5 wins in the Beldame, the most recent being 2013 with Princess of Silmar. So, like I said, it's all about Elate here, but maybe you're looking to play exotics or an upsetter here, Paulie.
Yeah, I mean, Eskin for Money does on paper look like the best horse. Here's the 2 Verve's Tail for Barkley Tag. Winner last time at 85 cents on the dollar. You're getting 13-1 today, and you get a jockey switch to Joel Rosario.
The question with her is whether or not she's more proficient around 2 turns. When they run a 1 1/8 at Aqueduct and Saratoga, it's around 2 turns. The 1 1/8 of our Beldame is 1 turn at Belmont Park. But what I like about her is she seems to really be coming into her own. She improved late in her three-year-old year, and she seems to be improving now as a 4-year-old. So while I doubt she's going to beat a late, I think she's the second likeliest winner. I prefer her to the 5 and 7.
Well, let's hear what Barkley Tag thinks, because he's standing right by Gabby Gaudet.
Thanks, Paul and Barkley. Well, we can't overlook the elephant in the room, that the fact of Elate is in here, and she is the heavy favorite. But going into a race like this, what do you think Verve's Tail's best attribute could be?
Well, she tries hard. I mean, you know, her last race was a tough one all the way down the lane, and she dug and dug and dug going down there. But she tries hard. She's a competitor, and that's what she's got going for her.
And she, if you could take one step over this way with me, and she's also a mare that you kind of took her out of graded stakes competition last time out up at Saratoga, and she got the victory. But she also has had a very good season against quality older horses as well.
Yes, she has. She's had a pretty good season, and we were pleased with her last race. We were pleased with the race before that. So, you know, we had to step her up sometime. And this did come up a little lighter than you would think it would. I mean, Elate is certainly in there, and so are the other horses. They're all good horses, but it was sitting right here in our backyard, so that's what we did.
You got to take a shot when a horse is doing well, right?
Yes, we do.
All right, well, best of luck here, Barkley.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, back to you, Greg.
Thank you to Gabby. Thank you to Barkley Tag. Always gracious, always giving his time as well. And we'll start the post parade with your 1 to 5 favorite right now for Claiborne, Mr. Mott, Elate.
She's looking to maybe be the one horse to beat Abel Tasman for 3-year-old filly championships. You don't want to get ahead of yourselves, but her last 2 races in Saratoga were terrific.
Here is Verve's Tail, the filly by tail of Acadi for Joel Rosario and Mr. Fipke.
Well, as Barkley Tag said, she always tries, and she is a nice horse. Is she better, though, around 2 turns? My second choice.
Yeah, Bishop's Pond, the wild card in here. 5-year-old mare by Curlin stepped on the dirt for the first time and crushed the last time.
Well, it was her first dirt race, and she wired the field. Now, obviously, she'll have to run better, but they're going to try to wire the field again. Smart connections.
Presumptuous is a maiden. We saw a maiden win the Pilgrim. I don't think we're going to see a maiden win a Beldame.
I was going to say the exact same thing, Paul, but Jamie Bond taking a shot.
Money's on Charlotte is the 5. You know, she's sharp. She's looking for 5 in a row.
She's another horse with speed. She'll likely be stalking the 3 Bishop's Pond in here. And she's a nice horse for Kelly Breen, but is she nice enough to win this?
Team Valor is going to send out a long shot for Jimmy Jerkins and Luis Saez. Bombshell.
She'd be quite the bombshell if she upset this field. In fact, even if she hit the try.
Asking for Money is the 7. You know, she's had almost $600,000 in the bank. She's sort of a lunch pail horse.
She is, but she also has been defeated by the 5-horse Money is on Charlotte in 2 of her last 3 races. So I'm not sure she's even better than that one.
Yeah, you make a good point. The 5 has gotten the best of her, but can the 5 or anybody get the best of this filly? Elate coming up next.
Change the way you watch racing forever with the new Naira Now app. Live racing in English or Spanish. From a variety of camera angles, race replays, talking horses, race analysis, and a multitude of on-demand content, all in high definition. Naira Now is available on many platforms, including iOS, Android, Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and more coming soon. Download Naira Now today, free in the App Store, and start watching the best racing like never before.
Grade 1 winner Data Link by world-renowned sire Warfront. Data Link scored in the prestigious Grade 1 Makers 46 Mile at Keeneland. Then set a new course record in the Grade 2 Monmouth Stakes. With a pedigree free of Mr. Prospector in the first 4 generations, Data Link is the perfect outcross option. His first weanlings turned heads, selling well above the stud fee. Data Link at Claiborne Farm.
Welcome back to Belmont Park Live, and don't forget you can get involved in all this action. $100 sign-up bonus. Just get started at NyraBets.com. Just enter the code LIVE when you sign up. Bet 100 and get 100. It's that easy, and it's nationwide. And we're talking to Barkley Tag, and Gabby talking to Barkley Tag, and him saying Verge Tail does try hard. And if you look at her resume, it's a good one. 11 for 13 in the money. No wins here at Belmont, but she's a horse that can hit the board here. I don't think she's a win candidate, but she can hit the board here.
Yeah, I mean, all things being equal, Elate is very likely to win. That's why she's 1-5. But the other horses behind for Exacta, I would make the cold Exacta one, too. That would be my play here. It's $6 for $1, which I don't think is that bad. I'll put it this way. If you think Elate can't lose this race, just imagine you take Elate out of the race and you say, are there any horses I would bet here at 5-1? Yeah, I'd bet Verse Tail. I think that she's very, very possible in there. I think she's an improving horse for a very good trainer. But I don't discount the talents of Money's on Charlotte. She's okay.
She is okay. She's looking for 4 in a row. And, you know, sometimes these horses can get the heart taken out of them. And I'm wondering if Elate could take the heart out of the 5. So you're in agreement, too. You're not in love with the 1-7 here, asking for money. You'd rather reach for somebody else in here.
I don't like asking for money. Do I think she could be second? Absolutely. I won't be shocked if she's second in this race. I just sort of prefer other horses. She's kind of had her chances.
Well, you see the 5. Money's on Charlotte. Asking for money at 7-1. And let's go to Maggie Wolf. No, I think she jumped back on her pony. Or did you carry your pony back out there?
I'm not that strong, Polly, but just to kind of make a comment on the enormity of what is Belmont Park, it is the only track here in the country that you actually have to go on another track to get to the start of this mile and an eighth contest. We're on the training track here where the gate is, where the horses make that long run up the chute here onto the main track. So like I said, it's the only track in the country where you can run a 1-turn mile and an eighth. Pretty cool, guys. As just a quick note on number 3, Bishop's Pond. She looks to be one of the speed horses in here, and Irad Ortiz gave her a pretty aggressive warm-up. So back here behind the gate, I'm going to sneak away before my pony decides that he's going in the gate and he's going to run off of me. Bye!
Good stuff, Maggie. As you see the 1, Elate, 2-5, and will she make Claiborne proud today, trying for her second Grade 1 in a row in the Beldame, and she is the heavy favorite. The 3, Bishop's Pond, coming off her lone win on the dirt. Will she make it 2 for 2? And Money's on Charlotte, going to try to win 5 in a row and upset the apple card here at 6-1. But there's no doubt the focus and all the picks are on the 1 here late. Let's go to Larry Colmus, the voice of the NYRA.
Money's on Charlotte now, taking her spot in the starting gate way up in this mile and an eighth chute. Just a couple more to go in. Bombshell and Asking for Money to the outside stall. She goes in. They're all in line. They're off in the Beldame. It was a very good start. Money's on Charlotte comes out well. Bombshell on the outside. Elate is up and on the pace. Right up in there in between horses. Bishop's Pond is close up as well. Then it's Asking for Money on the outside, followed by Verb's Tail and Presumptuous. So they're on to the backstretch here, and it will be Bishop's Pond to set the pace. Money's on Charlotte second on the outside. They complete the first quarter mile in 23.36 seconds, a decent enough pace. Asking for Money is on the outside of Elate, who's down toward the rail, and she's 2.5 lengths off the lead, and then Bombshell, Presumptuous. And Verb's Tail is just 4.5 lengths behind, pace-setting Bishop's Pond and Irad Ortiz Jr., who head them up the backstretch in front of half a length. Money's on Charlotte now, draws up alongside, and they're dead even at this point. And they complete the first half mile in 47.08 seconds. Asking for Money is third on the outside. The Alabama winner Elate is fourth, and she's down on the rail, drafting in behind the leaders 2 lengths from the front. Then Verb's Tail racing on the inside of Bombshell and Presumptuous trails around the far turn. Money's on Charlotte on the outside of Bishop's Pond. Asking for Money is asked to run on the outside of them. Jose Ortiz just sitting chilly with the late. They're a length and a half behind, and the rail is open for Verve's Tail, who's sent on through, and the late is surrounded now and in behind leaders as they come toward the top of the stretch, 3/4 in 1:12.1. They're into the stretch. Money's on Charlotte has taken the lead. A late still has no place to go. Asking for Money is there on the outside. Can a late get through? She's trying to squeeze through a slim opening here, and through the eye of a needle, here she comes. And a late has charged through to take the lead, and she is taking off for the wire, leaving the others behind. A late dominates the Beldame. Oh, she was sharp today. She won it by 7. Then Money's on Charlotte, and a photo with Asking for Money and Verve's Tail. The final time was 1 minute 50.21 seconds.
Well, a couple anxious moments for this champion, a late, sort of in a 405 or the LIE traffic jam, but when you have a Cadillac running against a bunch of Fiats, this is what happens right now.
You made the mistake I almost made. You already called her a champion yet, Paul. Champions are made in the fall.
I know, right? It's true.
And the fall is when the 3-year-olds are supposed to be meeting the older horses. And let's give a lot of credit to Belmont and Claiborne for running her against older horses, and she delivered a big way. All Jose needed was to get a little bit to the eye of the needle and get her through that hole, and she exploded. She won like a 1-to-5 shot should.
Yeah, she did. You know, I give Jose Ortiz so much credit because he could have stopped. He could have stopped her and went around horses, but he has no panic in his nerves, Andy.
I mean, you watch it here, the close-up, and he's looking, and you could see she had a ton of horse the whole way. She's actually about a length behind as they're nearing the 8th ball, right? Looking for the seam. She won eased up by almost 8 lengths. I mean, you think about the acceleration it takes. She went over a second, about a second and a half faster than the other fillies, the last 1/8 of a mile. That's remarkable.
Can we go back to the top of that stretch real quick? I want you to take a look at the 3. The 3 is Bishop's Pond. After this, we're going to get to the top of that because I want to look at it because Maggie is with Jose Ortiz. And how does a late feel? Did he even sweat at all, Maggie?
This is so cool, guys. I'm just like hanging out with the late. Sorry, Jose, I was just fangirl for a second. But God, you were just sitting on a Cadillac as Paulie described it, and you said, "Look out, guys, I'm coming through."
Yeah, I have a lot of horse the whole way of the whole way around, and when I see a space between those 2 horses, I just ask her a little bit. She make it through, and I just wrap up. Save her for next time.
Just wrap up winning by 7, Jose. I mean, you have to feel pretty confident about her ability going into the Breeders' Cup Distaff, for instance, against older fillies and mares.
Yeah, we are very confident in her. We always been since the first day we get on her, and just very happy to see her doing what she's doing, and she got great connection behind her. Miss Snyder, the Claiborne Farm, Belmont. I mean, it's just special.
It very is, much so. And Jose, you know, you won your first Breeders' Cup race last year on the horse that you're about to ride in Oscar Performance. Talk a little bit about him. Are you, I mean, as confident going into that race as you were on her? I mean, that's a kind of an unfair question, but how do you feel about him?
I feel very confident. He's working great. Haven't been able to work in last 2 times. Ira's been doing the job. I appreciate that. And he's such a nice horse, just like a late. She stepped up today and faced the oldest. You see how she won. She's much the best. And I know it's a tough race. The grass is a little soft. I know it's very tough. It's gonna be very tough, but he's a really nice horse, and he can overcome that.
Well, Jose, congratulations here. Very, very special win for you in the Beldame.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Good girl.
And Jose Ortiz with a hat trick today, and he told his older brother to get out of the way. You could see that Bishop's Pond and Irad Ortiz looked back and said, uh-oh, there's a freight train going through. And Jose Ortiz not only has the mount on Oscar Performance, and there is Hall of Famer Belmont checking out a lady. He also has the mount in the Jockey Cup Gold Club on Keen Ice. We'll take a peek at his work with Destin.
have your seat saved for the next Thoroughbred Owner Conference and Breeders' Cup Championships in beautiful Del Mar, California. Enjoy a great lineup of speakers, topics, and social events that include the Breeders' Cup Classic Post Position Draw, the Trackside Breakfast Marquee, an afternoon of racing at Del Mar, and to cap it off, reserve seating for the Breeders' Cup Championships on Friday and Saturday. The Thoroughbred Owner Conference in beautiful Del Mar, California. Register now at ownerview.com and we'll save you a seat.
Can wipe that smile off Jose Ortiz's face. It seems like every time he goes into the winner's circle, he's smiling. I'd be smiling too if I had a leg up on this daughter of Medaglia d'Oro out of Distorted Humor mare Cheery as a late, like you said, Andy, like a 1 to 5 shot should, as Money's on Charlotte will round out exactly. You got 7 to 1 if you liked Money's on Charlotte.
I did not hit it. My 2 could knock it up. No excuse.
You didn't have the Grand Slam for $2.80, did you?
I did not.
There's the
I wish I did.
There's the place photo. But Gabby Gaudet is in the winner's circle with some happy connections.
Absolutely, Paul. And we'll start first and foremost with trainer Bill Mott. And Bill, I got to ask you, at the quarter pole, were there a couple of anxious moments there when she was bottled up behind horses?
Well, I knew they had her all the way down the backside, and they had her in tight, turning for home, and that's what they're supposed to do, but he had a lot of horse, and when he found a small opening, she responded quickly enough, and, she was good enough to get on through there, and the rest was history.
I would say she responded very well. Just talk about that explosive kick coming down the stretch.
Well, I was glad to see the acceleration that she showed today. I mean, I think that's something that's improved as the year has gone on. It's something that she lacked early in the year. In the first 2 or 3 races, it was more of a steady grinding sort of move, and now it looks like she's showing the speed that we knew she had, but she probably never knew how to put it together before. I mean, she's just a maturing filly now, and I think she gets a little better with each start, and today was a good effort.
What's the lead-up look like for the Breeders' Cup?
Well, I mean, I don't think anybody would argue with me if we said we wanted to go on to the Breeders' Cup. I mean, we'd have to point her in that direction, and I'm sure all the connections will probably feel the same way. But, we'll, like all trainers say, we'll see how she comes out of this, and we'll go from there.
All right, well, lucky to be standing next to Walter Hancock. We can ask you the question. Walker, just talk a little bit about this filly's performance today. What an incredible race.
Yeah, that was amazing. I mean, some anxious moments certainly at the quarter pole. Obviously, everyone knew she was the one to beat, and they were trying to beat her. They did their best to keep her locked up, but as soon as she got some room, she exploded, which is nice to see. Like Bill said, she's kind of been a little one pace. We didn't know how, if she'd have a good turn of foot, but she showed it today, and that was really impressive.
And she's a filly that clearly has had talent from the get-go, but she has been frustrating at times with her Alabama win and this win. How important is this victory for you and Claiborne as a whole?
It's just awesome to have a filly like this. Very blessed, and it's a lot of fun.
Thank you very much, Walker, and congratulations here.
Thank you.
All right, guys, a late wow. She couldn't have been any more impressive today.
Couldn't be more in agreement with you, Gabby. I mean, this is a filly that is on and upwards. And You know, when you talk about the 3-year-old fillies now, it's her, Abel Tasman, it as well. And now when you go to the older fillies, you still have Stellar Wind in the mix. I mean, this could turn out to be a nice race.
I agree. This is a very good distaff.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry these other horses like Stellar Wind and Forever and Bridled, and I'm huge fans of them. I wish they raced a little bit more. Forever and Bridled making only her 3rd start. She won this Beldame last year. Stellar Wind has won 4 Grade 1s this year. She is the leader of the division right now. But it's going to be a big matchup. It's 2 different races within the race. It's the race overall, obviously, but it's also the race for 3-year-old champions. Because if Elate were to win or even run second and Abel Tasman run behind her, Elate has a chance to be the 3-year-old champ.
Yeah.
But Abel Tasman is the one to beat right now for that divisional honor.
Yeah, it still is. And forgot about Forever Unbridled. She's very, very tough. Don't forget about the New York Racing Association is the industry leader in providing Spanish language content. Darwin Vizcaya and Luis Grandison provide both race calls and pre-race analysis every single day. And you can check it out in the NYRA Now app, which brings you content all in HD. Here's the Suburban Keen Ice.
El comando mantiene siempre por fuera King Aida. Va pasando de vía hacia el comando. King Aida ha dominado claro por 2 cuerpos, 3 cuerpos ha dominado King Aida. Segunda está Charman Go. King Aida está ganando con José Ortiz de Suburban. Llegando a ganar King Aida con José Ortiz. Segundo Charman Go. Tercero Estrecho. Follow Me Club. Ahí sobre el ejemplar.
And speaking of Keen Ice, he worked this morning, Andy. That's Destin on his outside with Jose Ortiz up for the Gold Cup. When you focus on this, I want you to focus on the rest of it on I'm not a gallop out guy.
I'm looking at the dirt piles, but go ahead.
By the way, he buries Destin in this workout, and he's the kind of horse, obviously, he's beating a Triple Crown winner. He can run a big one.
He better beat Destin the Gold Cup, because Destin's not winning the Gold Cup, in my opinion. Listen, he won the Suburban a 1.25 miles here. He obviously beat American Pharoah, the Travers a 1.25 miles. It's a 1.25 miles horse. And Todd Pletcher's done a great job getting Keen Ice back to the top of his game. We saw Donegal win the stake earlier today, stamp their ticket to the Breeders' Cup. He might be one of the main horses to beat in this race. In fact, he is one of the main horses to beat. Interesting to see what the Pavel does to the 3-year-olds. An interesting Gold Cup coming up, but Keen Ice is a big-time player.
And there you see the probables right now for the Jockey Club Gold Cup. And, you know, Good Samaritan, 3-year-old. Pavel, a 3-year-old. Destin going to try. Rally Cry.
How about the New York bred Diversify?
I know,
His
right?
race up in the Evan Shipman up in Saratoga was mind-blowing. I mean, he looked like Gun Runner Jr. in that race.
Yeah, it really was. And, again, Keen Ice will be ridden by Jose Ortiz. And these 2 brothers growing up in Puerto Rico, they did everything together. They stayed in the same room, Jose telling me, because that was the only room that had air conditioning. Same when they came to New York to chase their dreams. They slept in the same bed, even sharing each other's clothes. But the will to beat each other drives these 2 brothers. Now at ages 23 and 24, let's take a closer look on how Irad and Jose Ortiz are taking the horse racing world by storm in another edition of I Am.
I am Irad Ortiz.
Jose Ortiz.
We are professional jockeys. My brother and I always want to be a jockey, and we both started when I was 16. We started in the jockey school.
And Irad Ortiz Jr. let Summer Revolution roll, and Summer Revolution is pouring it on.
My favorite part of being a jockey is winning.
Sweetgrass and Jose Ortiz coming home strong and coming home a 6-length winner.
The best part of being a jockey is be around horses. I mean, that's my dream, and you know, I love the sport.
When we were kids, we used to watch the Kentucky Derby all the time.
They're off in the Kentucky Derby.
My brother and I, we are both happy because we are the 3rd pair of brothers that ride the Kentucky Derby, and we are very, very proud of that. We always like to watch replays and try to get better every day and correct some mistakes that we did in the days.
My brother and I enjoy being a jockey, but we also love play PlayStation at night.
The highlight of my career so far being win the Belmont Stakes.
And Creator, these 2 come down to the line together. And Irad Ortiz raised his whip in victory.
And the highlight of my career was winning this year, but...
And Jose Ortiz in the Belmont Stakes. His brother won it last year. He did it today. Jose Ortiz.
So who's the better jockey?
what competitiveness. And there's a look at Oscar Performance. Jose Ortiz will be aboard. And yes, the Kitten's Joy is well represented. He looks a little bit like his daddy with his white face. But don't forget about the other one, Sadler's Joy. He's the number 4. The Joe Hirsch Turf Classic coming up next.
Undefeated in sprint competition, Eclipse champion Run Happy captured 3 Grade 1 victories and set blistering speed records at both Keeneland and Saratoga. In the Breeders' Cup Sprint, he dominated the world's fastest runners, going 6 furlongs in a record-breaking 108 and change. The only horse nominated for 3 Eclipse Awards, Run Happy was crowned champion male sprinter, all the while racing 100% drug-free. Champion, millionaire, record breaker, Run Happy, standing at Claiborne Farm. Multiple Grade 1 winner First Samurai by Giants Causeway got off to a quick start at stud, siring Grade 1 winners in each of his first 3 crops. His talented son Lee captured the Grade 1 Don Handicap in record time and retired to stud with over $2.3 million in earnings. Sovereign Award nominee Stack Beck captured the Grade 3 Bold Venture Stakes and Grade 2 Kennedy Road Stakes, both just to tick off track record times. First Samurai at Claiborne Farm.
Welcome back to Belmont Park Live as we're getting set for the finale here at Belmont Park, but you still have time to get involved. $100 sign-up bonus to get started at NyraBets.com. Bet 100 and you'll get 100. It's that easy. Nationwide, just use the promo code LIVE. You can be signed up in minutes. On to race number 10. We call it the get-out race, and very rarely is the get-out race a Grade 1 going 1.5 miles on the turf. But that's what we're getting here, the 41st running of the Joe Hirsch Turf Classic. And the 3-year-old going to try to make it 3 for 3 in these Grade 1s. Oscar Performance is your favorite.
Yeah, I'm surprised he's this short a favorite. And listen, in my heart, I'm rooting for him, and I think it's great that they're running him. The 3-year-olds should be meeting older horses this time of year. They shouldn't all be waiting for the Breeders' Cup. And let's give a lot of credit to Connections. But he's a horse that's shown that if he's not controlling on the front end, he needs to be stalking outside the clear. And it doesn't feel like either of those are going to happen here, because he's going to have to deal with Beach Patrol. And Beach Patrol is his kryptonite because he is a very similar racehorse. He has speed. He has stamina, and he's talented. And I think the Beach Patrol at this point is better than him. So what is he going to do with a horse that's going to be stalking him outside that's just as fast as he is and has as much stamina? Can he put away Beach Patrol and hold off the closers? If he does that, he might be the best 3-year-old turf, or maybe the best 3-year-old in the country, along with West Coast.
Well, you make a good point about Beach Patrol. I'm a little worried. We'll get back to him in a little bit. He's 6-1, which I don't understand. Sadler's Joy, 3-1. Yeah, maybe the mile and a half. Sadler's Joy won at that mile and a half in the Sword Dancer last time. Is it, I mean, with a little trouble, is it safe to say that he needs to be timed perfectly?
Well, yeah, he you know, what you do with him is just what Julian did with him last time. The time before that, everybody in the race was worried about the race having too slow a pace, so everybody moved too soon except for the winner, and it enabled a long shot winner to get it done. But what I like is the connections. Tom Albertani and Julian Letbrew realized, we got to let this horse do what he does well. Sit in the back of the pack, make our run. If it works out, great. If it doesn't, so what? We weren't winning any other way. And he runs down Money Multiplier. Now, Money Multiplier was making his second start. The little bit of rain earlier, the turf is firm. It didn't help Money Multiplier. He likes firm turf. Sadler's Joy will be fine with a little bit of give in the ground. I think he makes his run. Sadler's Joy can win. Money Multiplier can win. They're both big-time players.
Yeah, Money Multiplier. Interesting horse, because you're really worried whether he really wants this distance. And he's 0 for 3 at Belmont. Brought to you by Shadwell Farm is this paddock report. Building speed for the future. Maggie, take it away.
Thanks, Paulie. And horses set and ready here for this Grade 1 Joe Hirsch Turf Classic. And we'll start with your current favorite. That's a 3-year-old taking on Elder Company for the first time in Oscar performance. And look, physically, he matches up very nicely with his foes here. You know, he's very well conditioned. And, you know, with racing, this guy has just become more relaxed, more confident, well within himself. I mean, last year, and it's almost a year to the day, actually, if you kind of look at the calendar at least, that he won his first graded stakes in the Pilgrim. And, you know, he was a washed out, not mess, but he was washed out that day. And he's just a much more mature individual. So I feel fairly confident in what I see from him, at least physically. But as Andy said, it'll be the dynamics that gets Oscar Performance beat. Moving on to a horse that's just in excellent form right now. That is number 4, Sadler's Joy. Gosh, this horse exudes confidence and commands your attention physically. I know Gabby Gaudette's a big fan of this horse. So am I here in the paddock. And then we'll take a look at one of Graham Motion's runners. That is the one he takes over training on. Getting Lasix for the first time in his career is Mektal. And this is a big, solid, good-looking son of See the Stars here. I'm pretty sure that Gabby's going to catch up with Graham a little bit later in the show, and I'm interested to see what he says about this runner and how he has done since coming to his barn. But liking what I'm seeing here in the paddock, Paulie.
Good stuff there, Maggie. And right now, both of Graham's horses getting played a little bit. He has 2 in here. Ascend the 6 and the 8, Mektal, who is getting bet and debuting. Well, not debuting, but 11th start, debuting with Lasix first time.
Well, Mektal had real trouble in the Arlington Million. He was blind switch coming in the stretch. And blind switch, as you've talked about, is when you go for a hole and a horse sort of beats you to it, and he gets shut out. And then he was blocked in traffic throughout the stretch run, and it really cost him any chance he had. And he's a quality horse. I mean, you look at his races over in Europe, they were against some very, very good competition, running a few lengths behind Highland Real, the easy winner of the Breeders' Cup last year, a world-class horse. He's good. We're looking at the 5 right now. But the 8 Mektal is a big-time player, and Graham's got a shot with both his horses.
Yeah, he does. This horse is a Group 1 winner at Chantine. He's got 2 horses in here, and you know what? Gabby is standing right aside Graham Motion, and Ascend ran his best race here.
He absolutely did. Of course, Ascend, very accomplished there in the Manhattan. We'll start with Ascend. And Graham, what can you make of this horse? What did you kind of see in hindsight from the Arlington Million?
You know, the Arlington Million, he kind of broke in a tangle. He's very laid back, this horse. Very cool, easy horse to be around. He just kind of flopped out of the gate. And he spotted the field several lengths and just had a hard time making it up. And he got beat a length and a half.
And moving forward, I mean, he's a horse that's been forwardly placed. Sometimes he's come from off of the pace. Where do you hope to see him today?
Look, first time going a mile and a half today. I'm going to leave it up to Joe. He's very push-button, this horse. The main thing is that he comes away from the gate cleanly.
And Mektal, he's recently transitioned into your barn. How has he looked since then?
Yeah, he's done really well. I mean, he also didn't have a great start at Arlington. He had a terrible post. The outside post at Arlington in that race really does hurt you. So we thought, you know, considering all that, he ran a very respectable race that day.
All right, well, best of luck here. Both of them look absolutely phenomenal here.
Thanks, Gabby.
All right, best of luck, and back to you, Paul.
And best of luck to Grand Motions. We start the post spray, and the post spray will start with the Chad Brown charge money multiplier Castellano in the irons.
He's been placed in 4 grade 1s. He's yet to seal the deal, but he's good enough to get it done.
I'd say this horse is the longest shot on the board, but he's not at 95 to 1.
Oh, his trainer has another ridiculous horse in the race as well. Converge is way over his head.
Here is Oscar Performance, the Ridgeling by Kitten's Joy, who won this race back in the day. Your favorite right now, or co-favorite?
He's overbet at 3 to 1. He's a 3-year-old trying oldest the first time. He's going to face a real speed threat. He's got to get a 1.5 miles. He's a good horse, but wow, is this a stern test.
And the other son of Kitten's Joy, Sadler's Joy, the Sword Dancer winner, right at 3 to 1 as well.
He'll come running down the stretch. He puts in a good performance pretty much every time.
The 5 is Beach Patrol, sort of conquered his second-itis, and he won the Arlington Million last time out.
He's going to be sitting right outside of the favorite Oscar Performance, and he is good. He's fast early, and he's talented. Can he get a 1.5 miles?
And Jersey Joe Bravo and Grand Motion are going to team up on the Gray Sun of Candy Ride Ascend.
I thought his real trouble last time was he was a bit in traffic in the Arlington Million, and he was too far back. He's a player.
Channel Maker is an Ontario bred by English Channel for Mr. Mott. Big long shot here at 39 to 1.
Yeah, he's a big long shot who did win a 1.5 miles in the turf last time, but this is a much tougher field.
The 8 Mekdal 15 to 1 on the morning line down to 9 to 2. Will get Lasix, and the son of Sea of the Stars has a resume.
Yeah, I don't know how overbet he is. He's probably supposed to be in the 5 or 6 to 1 range. He's talented with that Lasix and a troubled trip at Arlington.
The 9, the Gray by Dark Angel. Fanciful Angel was 73 to 1 and almost pulled the upset, running second in the Arlington Million last time.
Did get a very good trip at Arlington, but since then he's been privately purchased. He's now trained by Chad Brown. He gets Irad Ortiz. There are a lot of things to like about this horse.
The 10, the Gray Gatsby, would give John Velasquez 6 wins in this race, and you're getting 16 to 1. You do get Dermot Weld in your corner.
There was a time that this horse would have been favored. Unfortunately, he hasn't won in a couple of years.
And here is the other horse, 99 to 1, Tricked Up.
He's an underlay at 99 to 1.
Well, you got 5 minutes to get to NairaBets.com to try to bet the son of Kitten's Joy, the 3-year-old looking for another one, will be an Oscar Performance.
Want to see the Breeders' Cup like you never have before? Enter the Racing with the Stars VIP Sweepstakes to win one of 4 once-in-a-lifetime experiences. You could dine with Bobby Flay, meet Mike Smith and Bob Baffert, have a golf and TV experience with NBC and Torrey Pines, or walk the purple carpet with the Stars. Visit BreedersCupVIP.com to sign up for free and try your luck today.
Welcome back to Belmont Park Live as the Naira flag waves right under the NTRA. And don't forget the second chance cashback on the ARC. Yes. Shanty on Sunday, 10:05 Eastern time, okay? 10:05 Eastern time, you can get down. If you bet $20 to win on a horse and run second, we'll give you your money back. So take a shot. Mobile only. Don't try to do it on something else and then call Andy on his Twitter or DM him because he's going to get upset. Mobile only.
Mobile only. Enable. Can the mighty mighty Juddmonte filly, Enable, continue winning. She may be the best horse in the world.
Yeah, and it's something you want to watch, too, because I would think a couple of those runners will end up in the Breeders' Cup.
Oh, absolutely. This is a great race. You want to get involved in that.
Yeah.
Take a look at the race. It's a lot of fun. A lot of good race at Chantilly tomorrow. I want to say Longchamp, but it's Chantilly.
Yeah. And we're taking a look at Mechtal here. A horse by Sea of the Stars, gets Lasix. Brutal trip, but you cannot ignore the Grade 1 win in France.
Oh, well, no, this horse has been some serious company. Keep your eye on this horse. He's sort of between horses moving into the 3-path, and you see the rider stop right there. You can't tell exactly what happened, but it felt like others beat him the hole. He's now back to last behind horses, and this is, I believe, Frankie Dettori riding this horse, and he's sort of shut off there. He just doesn't have anywhere to go, and yes, he's riding him forward, but he knows that he's sort of in traffic, and you can see right there he's barely riding him. This is a horse that was with the emergency brake. He just never had a fair chance in here. Mechtal was going to run better. Is he necessarily going to win? I don't know, but he had real trouble in that race.
Yeah, he did have some real trouble. It's really hard to discern which horse had the most trouble in that race.
Ascend did too.
Ascend had some trouble in there. Money Multiplier was good last time out, losing to Sadler's Joy, though, Maggie.
Yeah, he was. Look, I like Money Multiplier. He always looks good here in the flesh, and he's one of 3 Chad Brown horses, and I don't think you can obviously throw any of his 3 out, including the long shot in here, and that's number 9, Fanciful Angel. Well, he's kind of a mid-priced horse, as he's currently at 9-1, but this guy impressed me, guys. He's big, he's powerful looking. Look, he almost pulled off the upset in the Arlington Million. He is fairly headstrong, which I noticed. There's no kind of special equipment on him, though. The other thing is that you look at his comment lines, and he always gets away slow. I talked to Pop McMullen here once again. He said he doesn't come with any notes or any special instructions, but yes, he's a horse that struggles to get away from the gate. Gabby, what did you see, or did you like Fanciful Angel?
I absolutely did, Maggie. I thought that he made a really nice appearance. I'm still a little bit partial to Mechtal, but Fanciful Angel, you bring up a great point. That's the one thing that he needs to overcome, is breaking from the gate. And we see it time and time again that sometimes in their second start in North America, they break a little bit better. But you'd have to imagine that Chad Brown took this horse to the gate, schooled him a little bit in the time that he has had him, because he did not break well last time out, and he has been getting off slowly over in Europe as well. So that is the key for him, is to break cleanly today. But in the Arlington Million, he was loaded into the gate with kind of a mask on to keep him calm, but we'll see what happens today. I also wanted to check in with the 10, the Great Gatsby. Guys, this is just a very cool horse. He's a $4.2 million earner, and this is the first time in North America. Now, the connections, Dermot Weld, he shipped over 2 horses, Zakova, who won the Manor War, and this horse. He was pointing both of them for this particular race and chose to run Zakova in the Flower Bowl and the Great Gatsby here. And I know he's probably tailed off recently, guys, but you'd have to think that he's going to love getting to a very firm course today.
And good stuff from both the ladies there. As you see the 8 that was walking in the gate, excuse me, the 10, so in the gate had those cheek pieces on. That's sort of what we'd call blinkers over here. Any last thoughts?
I think this is a wide open, fun race. I'm just looking forward to seeing. I think Ascend is going to run better than his odds.
By the way, Tackleful, he punched his ticket to the Breeders' Cup a little bit earlier. Whoever wins this race will punch their ticket to the Longines Turf. Your favorite, Sadler's Joy at 3-1. Let's go up to Larry Comas for the 41st running of the Joe Hirsch Turf Classic.
They're all in line, and we're ready for the start. They're off in the Joe Hirsch Turf Classic. Sadler's Joy off to a slow start at the back of the pack there. A good beginning for Oscar Performance. Beach Patrol is up and on the pace. Converge is down on the inside, and now this long shot's going to grab the lead. Eric Consell to the front with Converge, and they kick away to lead by 2.5. Oscar Performance will let him go and sit second. Beach Patrol is third. Money Multiplier follows in fourth. Ascend is 7 lengths off the lead, running in 5th position early on. And they're followed on the inside by Fanciful Angel, moving for that turn. Channelmaker is next. Mechtal saves all the ground, 8 lengths off the lead into that turn. Then a 3-wide run for Longshot Tricked Up. And at the back of the field are the Grey Gatsby and Sadler's Joy. They went the quarter in 23.51 seconds. And it is Converge who's up top, heading to the backstretch on a lonesome lead here in 48.23. Converge out there by 8 lengths at 99-1 in the Joe Hirsch Turf Classic. And then it's Beach Patrol up running in second. Oscar Performance and Money Multiplier heads apart, third and fourth. And right behind them are Fanciful Angel and Ascend on the outside. They're all unhurried at this stage. Mechtal is racing to the inside of Channel Maker. And behind them, the Gray Gatsby, who's on the inside of Tricked Up. And Sadler's Joy still biding time. 13 lengths off the lead after 3/4 in 1:13.81. So Converge heads up the backstretch in front and continues to lead the way by 4 over Beach Patrol as they race for the far turn. Oscar Performance is down on the inside. They're catching up to Converge now. Money Multiplier is next. And after that comes Fanciful Angel in between horses. Ascend on the outside. The Gray Gatsby is down toward the inside. Mechtal is next. Outside of them, Channel Maker. Sadler's Joy is moving up on the outside of Tricked Up as they make their way around the far turn. And now, Beach Patrol has taken the lead. Money Multiplier. Oscar Performance is right there. He's 2 lengths off the top. Then Ascend on the outside. In behind them is Fanciful Angel, and they're at the top of the stretch here. Beach Patrol turns for home in front. Beach Patrol, the one to beat. Oscar Performance on the inside, trying to stick with him in second. And then it's Ascend on the outside. Sadler's Joy's coming down the middle and Fanciful Angel. But as they come to the 16th pole, it is Beach Patrol, and he's running away impressively. Beach Patrol and Joel Rosario won it by 6 lengths in the end. And it was close for second. Between Fanciful Angel and Oscar Performance, Sadler's Joy ends up fourth. The final time was 2 minutes, 26.29 seconds.
Wow, crushing performance here by Beach Patrol, who just crushed a world-class group.
I mean, this was unbelievable. He absolutely buried this field. He came home in 22.85 seconds, and he looked like it in the stretch. Oscar Performance ran well. He might have won the photo for second, but Beach Patrol, he didn't get the lead. He reined behind the fast pace set by the long shot, and he buried these horses. What a performance this was.
Yeah, we were talking about this horse had second-itis for the longest time and finally broke through. Not like second-itis, but just
he was unlucky.
He's now turning into separating. And by the way, the 9 might have won that photo for second, and that horse had issues, was by far the second best.
Well, if he was second, then Chad Brown ran 1-2 in this race, but he did run well. And I don't want to knock Oscar Performance because he ran very well. He doesn't like being inside like that, and they really kept him in. Money Multiplier kept him in. They all kept him in there, and he never stopped trying in this race. And you give a lot of credit to the 3-year-old and the job that Brian Lynch did. He actually gains in defeat, but nobody was close to Beach Patrol. This was a powerhouse performance.
No, this is a powerhouse performance, and he stamped himself to go to the Longines turf. And how about this? He's going to end at Del Mar. That's where he started his career, at Del Mar.
And he finished second in the Hollywood Derby there last year. He won the Arlington Million, the Joe Hirsch Turf Classic. He is the best turf horse in this country right now, at least going long.
Yeah, and here is the photo, and it looks like really close between the 9 and Oscar Performance. You could see very early in the race that Jose Ortiz, when the two sort of went to the front end, he was trying to get Oscar Performance outside, but Javier Castellano and Money Multiplier kept him in.
They did, and absolutely. And this was Chad Brown running 1-2. It was Fanciful Angel, the private purchase of the last race. Similar connections with Beach Patrol and Fanciful Angel as well.
And Maggie Wolfendale is with rider Joel Rosario, the winner of the Joe Hirsch.
And guys, I'm out here with Joel Rosario and Beach Patrol. He might be small, but he surely is mighty, Joel.
Yes, it is. He's a tremendous horse. He just keep on going all day.
Exactly. 1.5 miles is no sweat for him. You've ridden him to back-to-back grade ones last time out, capturing the Arlington Million. The margin of victory, though, was much bigger today. Is he a horse that's really hitting his best stride now?
Yeah, he loved to run, and then gracias, so he just keep on going forward, just trying to break it out of the gate and get my spot, and then go from there. But you're right, he just keep on getting better.
And with this win, he earns a berth into the Breeders' Cup turf and out at Del Mar, a track that he's familiar with, a track you're familiar with. You got to be excited.
Yes, it is. So we're hoping for going to Del Mar, and then hopefully we're gonna be race there too.
Well, Joel, job well done. Congrats here.
Thank you very much.
All right, Polly, back to you. Beach Patrol in the Hirsch Classic.
Great job by Joel Rosario. And there you could see Chad Brown saying, what about my other runner here?
Well, he had 3 in, and he ran first and second. We saw in all Grade 1s today definitive winning performances, and that's what you like to see.
Wow, this horse leveled out like a Cadillac. Beach Patrol, guess where he's going next? Where the turf meets the surf.
Make NyraBets your home for online horse racing and betting. Use NyraBets to bet on live horse racing from around the world. Bet from anywhere, anytime using your computer or mobile device. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Play in our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up at NyraBets.com and start earning your sign-up bonus today. NyraBets, racing's best play. Use promo code LIVE to get a $100 new member sign-up bonus on NyraBets.com.
Chadwell Farm, home to world-class stallions, offers 2 successful stakes sires. Brilliant Miler, Daher, a consistent source of quality. Daher is the sire of black-type winners coast to coast. Grade 1 winner and millionaire, Albertus Maximus, winner of the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile and Don Handicap. He is now siring black-type horses across the U.S. and abroad. Chadwell Farm, building speed for the future.
Joel Rosario and Beach Patrol heading to the winner's circle, and you can see the connection smiling as Beach Patrol pays $12 right on the button. Fanciful Angel runs second, and if you had that Chad Brown exacta, you're going to get rewarded.
Yeah, $119 for $2, $59.50 for $1. And, you know, when you run the big races, Paul, you love to see definitive wins, and that's what we saw in all of these races today, and none more so than Beach Patrol.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think this horse has stamped himself as the North American leader, and I think somebody from overseas is going to have to conquer him. Let's go to Gabby with his trainer.
Thank you very much, Paul, and standing by with winning trainer Chad Brown. And Chad, where did this performance come from? How impressed were you by Beach Patrol today?
I'm not that surprised. I mean, he's never been a mile and a half, and you don't know till you try it, but he's been a real consistent horse all year. He had some bad trips early in the year, and it's nice to see the Arlington Million form has held up with the first 2 finishers today. And he's a really classy horse, and I'm glad he got to show everyone again today.
And this is a horse, too, though. You think he's a horse that continues to take that step forward with each and every race that he's kind of maturing within the season?
Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, he's continuing to improve. But that said, I mean, you're talking about a horse that won a Grade 1 as a 3-year-old, and I think, again, if you just look at his form, you can find reasons why he got B. And he's one of the more consistent horses I have in training.
And he and Fanciful Angel finishing 1-2 in here. They were also workmates in the morning. What did you think of Fanciful Angel's performance as well?
I was real proud of him. Again, another horse trying a mile and a half for the first time. He was transferred to us out of the Arlington Million in good shape, still getting to know him. And I thought he ran really well. He's in a little bit of trouble throughout the race, you know, pulling a little bit and stuff. And I thought Irad did a good job to try to settle him throughout the race and just get up for a second. I'm very pleased with these 2 horses' performances.
And in terms of the Breeders' Cup, specifically with Beach Patrol, what do you think?
I think for both horses, you'd have to take a look at it. Beach Patrol certainly earned a spot, and Fanciful Angel is only his first start for us. If I see more improvement from now until the Breeders' Cup, it might be worth a shot.
All right, well, congratulations here. Huge performance from Beach Patrol.
Thank you.
All right, there you have it there. Beach Patrol just opening and opening those margins there. Huge performance here today, Paul.
Yeah, giant performance. And one thing about Del Mar, California, a little bit like it's been here at Belmont, does not rain much, and you're going to get a firm turf course for both of those horses. And here's the pick 5 follow along. I tell you what, if you were able to get both horses in the first leg, a late at 260 was a free square. It's not a bad payoff.
No, absolutely. It's tremendous payoff. 75, 90, I'm thinking 540, and sort of couldn't miss it. $1,000, huge payout. Huge payout.
Really good
A lot
payout.
of people hit it twice today. Probably used both the 8 and 11.
Yeah, you're right. A lot
Excellent
of people
payout.
did. They were your favorite in 5-1, as you see Chad Brown and Joel Rosario holding up multiple trophies.
And Uber Track Super Glenn Kozak handing that out. Nobody does a better job than Glenn. And he even got a tie and a jacket. Just like borrowed that from somebody.
Yeah, right. As you see the Belmont Showdown online contest to your right, Caswell.c. Congratulations, $4.50. Sorry, Quinny Bob, but
tough beat.
Tough beat.
Purple
but still,
Dinosaur put in a good run.
Some good stuff going on. Big Bus Driver. Top 10 today. Did you see that name?
Yeah, I saw a Big Bus Driver.
That's
Finished
not you?
8th? No, not me.
You sure?
No.
What a wonderful day here.
Little bus rider.
At Belmont. And don't forget, you could always watch us on the Naira Now app. And we're also available on everything else. You have it. Apple, Roku. I know Andy has Roku as well. Downloaded today. What a beautiful, wonderful day it was today at Belmont. But don't forget, next week we got the Jockey Club Gold Club. We also got the Champagne, the Hill Prince, the Belmont Turf Sprint. And then on Sunday, another great card as well with the Flower Ball. But Takaful stole the show. He is in the Breeders' Cup as well. Shoke for a little bit off the pace with an upset in the Pilgrim. A late, wow, a jog fest in the Beldame, and Beach Patrol made a mockery of the field in the Joe Hirsch Turf Classic. For Gabby Gaudet, Maggie Wolfendale, and Paula Duca. Oh, Andy Serling as well. See you tomorrow.
Change the way you watch racing forever with the new Naira Now app. Live racing in English or Spanish. From a variety of camera angles, race replays, talking horses, race analysis, and a multitude of on-demand content, all in high definition. Naira Now is available on many platforms, including iOS, Android, Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and more coming soon. Download Naira Now today, free in the App Store, and start watching the best racing like never before.
Money multiplier. Oscar Performance is right there. He's 2 lengths off the top. Then Ascend on the outside. In behind them is Fanciful Angel, and they're at the top of the stretch here. Beach Patrol turns for home in front. Beach Patrol, the one to beat. Oscar Performance on the inside, trying to stick with him in second. And then it's Ascend on the outside. Sadler's Joy's coming down the middle, and Fanciful Angel. But as they come to the 16th pole, it is Beach Patrol, and he's running away impressively. Beach Patrol and Joel Rosario won it by 6 lengths in the end, and it was close for second between Fanciful Angel and Oscar Performance. Sadler's Joy ends up 4th. The final time was 2 minutes 26.29 seconds.